Welcome back to TK Experience. This is episode 18, and this is going to be a recap of our senior year fall semester, and this has been a long overdue one. So, Krestoff, why don't you just update them? How's life been for you?
Well, I cut my hair since last time you guys have saw, so that's been the first update. Overall, I think that it's been quite an interesting semester. Senior semester's rolling around, and we're starting to go towards the spring semester. We all graduate in the spring, so the past semester for me has been a lot of lessons learned. It's been eye opening, but most importantly, I think I understand now more and more how important just how you do things are versus just doing things overall. To get into some more details, I would say that school's been good overall. I would say that I've been involved a bit doing some other things, and we will obviously talk more in detail about this. But just to keep it summarized, I think everything's just been good. I just learned a lot of stuff that I can be better. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just compounding on all the things that we've been doing and just
Yeah.
trying to hone in on the things that really matter the most to us. So, let's just jump all the way back. Let's start out in August when we were coming for our last soccer season. So, we wanted to make sure we came in for our senior year just ready to go and just start grinding. So we wanted to start 75 hard right away. I started that on the first day of preseason, and we also started with the first 12-week year. So out of 12 weeks, that was the first week, and we wanted to make sure we were just jumping on just the whole semester and making sure we were just gonna really get on a good routine early on. So the soccer season flew by. We did pretty well. We went to the PSAC final, but we lost. And we also made the NCAA tournament, which I haven't made it since for my college career. So it was cool
Mhm.
to join that tournament. But it was just a lot of fun. There was a lot of traveling involved. We had a good team, good group of guys, and now I hung up the cleats, and I'm excited to now kind of focus in on some other things. But the whole season was a lot of fun. It was cool. I documented it all for the 75 hard, so I can have those memories forever. And we finished up the 12-week year about a month ago, so there was a lot of different moving parts throughout the soccer season, and I was staying very busy. I was all over the place. My Google Calendar was always packed,
Mhm.
but I have no regrets. I enjoyed every moment of it. I was trying to just take it slow because I knew it was going to go by quick, and it sure did. So I'm kind of excited for it to be over.
And what would you say your school has been for you? Soccer season went well. That's good. How was the academic part and just the extracurricular things?
School is good. I'm always a pretty good student, so I got my work done for the
Mhm.
most part. I had this one professor I really liked a lot. His name's Dave Perry. He does management 499 here at
Yeah.
Westchester, and he actually had a lot of real world experience. He was an executive for 20 years or so,
Mhm.
so he's a very smart guy. He gave us all these different lessons, and he left a mark on me, and I
Yeah.
definitely have learned some lessons that will translate for the rest of my life with him.
Yeah, that's really good. And just even transition, or not transition, but also add on to what you were saying. Yeah, so it's been an interesting semester I just see, and it's good you guys are doing everything like that. But I agree with you. I think that how we started the semester was definitely, at least for me personally, the best. I've kind of laid out a plan. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this. So I think that was a lot to learn. I think also that school was good too. I mean, I met a few professors myself that I really liked. I liked Frank Nocello was my sales team coach, really good guy. Tom Allen, which we both had the pleasure to meet. So I think we both made a lot of good connections, just not within our realm, but outside of it too, just to see who we could meet, how we could network and stuff like that. But I think it's been good overall. So we did talk about school and how we were doing. What are some plans that we did want to accomplish starting August, and how would you say that we process them on, bring them out now they're here?
Well, it started just with the 12-week year.
Mm.
Right from the get go, we planned out all the way into the end of my soccer season. I had from August 15th or whatever it was all the way to November 10th or something. It was a whole 3 months. So we had 4 or 5 different sets of goals, and we just broke them down into weekly goals and then even daily goals that we just divided and chipped away at each
Mm.
day. And for the most part, all of what we were trying to do, for the most part, went the right way. For Dub C Media, we created a full LLC. We have a business bank account and credit card. We're registered with the IRS, so we're all like legit for the business. So that's pretty cool. And we actually have 5 clients now, and we're trying to keep expanding that. And that's where we're putting a lot of our work and effort into. I think we worked on a lot on ourselves and just try to continue to just build on that momentum. And self development, it's not an overnight fix. It takes years of hard work and dedication of just doing the same thing over and over and over. I make my bed still every single morning, and those habits will continue for the rest of my life. So it just came down to we were prepared to right when we went into the semester ground running, and I thought we did a great job just grinding and working on a lot of different things throughout the whole 75 hard. And then we had 3 to 4 weeks where I think we took our foot off the pedal a little bit, but after doing stuff for so long and so hard and aggressive with it was kind of needed. So I don't have any regrets at all. I enjoyed every single day, and I just try to make the most of my time.
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of the things you said. I think for me, the most important thing that I've learned as well too is you mentioned how 75 Hard built us up to realize certain things. Of course, I think that we were certainly ahead of some of our peers, maybe a good amount, right? But once you get to that next echelon, I suppose, of things, you start to realize, okay, the people I'm competing with are here. Once I get here, they don't really matter. It's okay, how can I get up here? So we always start to realize there's just always another level to beat. No matter how efficient, how consistent, how professional you are, there's always another way to get there. So I would say that's been the most eye-opening thing for me. And as a whole, too, I like all the stuff you brought up. I mean, Dub C Media, it's been good. We've had a lot of conversations off camera just about our plans and things of that nature. But transitioning from Dub C Media, which I'm obviously very proud of as well, too. What are some other things that you and I personally have delved into this spring semester that we haven't done in the past semesters?
Well, I was still doing the Westchester Soccer Media page. I was still managing that and trying to
Mm,
do a little work with that.
yeah,
So one of the big highlights was, well, we did a collab with the lacrosse and softball team
yeah,
here at
those are
Westchester,
good.
which a
Those
lot
are
of the
good.
guys liked. I
Mm,
was working with the athletic department very closely. I was kind of advising them on what to do, and they listened, and it
mm,
worked. So that was cool to kind of work with them and to give my input and feedback.
yeah.
And one of the biggest ones was I did a takeover for the Barstool Westchester page. That's never been done before. We've never bridged that gap of between the general student body
Mm,
of Barstool and then the athletic department. We never bridged that gap, so it was cool to do a takeover. And we even had a video where it was, oh, who's most likely to for the soccer team edition,
mm,
and it got 60,000 views.
yeah, that was
So
good.
that was pretty cool. That was kind of like the kind of goodbye message in a way.
Mm,
I am still doing my own personal brand stuff. I still make vlogs and stuff
mm,
like that, but I won't do anything with the men's soccer team or the athletic department unless things go our way and we're
yeah.
hired by them,
Mm,
as we've discussed and a little bit off camera. But
yeah.
um, we also did some stuff with Ram Nation, which we've created. We're trying to make an official club where it's basically people who are just passionate about sports and
Mm,
who want to go to sports games on campus to
yeah.
support the Westchester Athletics and just also have that social media content team a part of it as well. So there's two kind of parts to it,
Yeah.
and we're continuously working on that and trying to really make a difference and keep our long everlasting footprint on Westchester Athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that perhaps we don't acknowledge this on a daily basis, but I think a good amount of things that we do is to, or a good amount of things that we do by extension, it helps others and it can create opportunities. For example, Ram Nation. We like to get involved. We like to help athletics and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's also creating opportunities for people whose videography is their craft. Photography is their craft. Excuse me, and they just love to do it. And perhaps there was not an opportunity where they could maybe athletics only is accepting one intern, right? But we've gotten this team which I'm very happy for them because we always talk about the outsourcing and stuff like that. So I think that's good. And even Dubs Media, even though we are a business, but we're providing a service, which in turn helps someone else. So I think that's been very consistent with us, even just from doing TK Experience. We always somehow provide some type of value to someone in different shapes or forms. I'm proud of that. I believe that we're going to continue to do such things. And I think Ram Nation was very, very cool. If only it continues, if only that things start to make a change for the better. And like you said, the stuff that we did talk about, of course, we can help them advance and evolve even more. But as we know, there's so many different things,
Mm-hmm.
people, decision makers, all these different types of things to get into, which is what contributes to it all. But Everything's been great. I know that for a fact. We obviously have a lot of reflections, a lot of feedback coming along. And before I transition into that part, I just want to make sure that we're hitting all the topics. We're making sure that we're talking about everything. So while I leave the floor open to you here, we've talked about a lot of the stuff that we kind of wanted to do in the semester. What are some stuff that maybe it's unheard of just yet that we have done or that you were thinking about during the semester?
I think moving forward, I think I'm just going to really just try to focus in on things that actually truly matter to me.
Mm.
Not necessarily help other people, but try to be more selfish. We're racing against the clock. We
Mm.
graduate in the spring, and there's still a lot of stuff that we're trying to work on. And
Mm.
I think it just comes down to execution. And a lot of times things look good on paper or on a PowerPoint, and then when you actually try to go in and get your feet wet, it's a
Mm.
completely different story. So
Facts.
I think that's one thing that we looked into and just kind of learned ourselves is it's one thing of just having a good idea. There's another thing to actually make it a reality in a short period of time and be efficient about it. So that was kind of a learning step as well. And as I just said, I'm just trying to continue tightening my circle, being selfless with my time, and just really focusing on things that I want to do in my last semester of college. Because as we saw that this semester went by so quick, I know for a fact the spring will go by even quicker.
Uh,
So I think for the most part, people have seen what we've been working on.
mhm.
We're just going to really be focusing on Dub C Media, our social media marketing company,
Mhm.
and just really try and make that a consistent cash flowing business. So that's I think would be the number one priority. And then also me and my friend Sel, we've been trading and investing in the stock market a lot recently, and we've been having some pretty good success. So
Yeah, I've noticed some really good ones. Yeah,
yeah, we've
some
been
some good
we've been
ones.
putting a lot of work in, and it's been
Mm.
paying off. And me and Cress even have a business investment portfolio as well, where
Mm.
we just use some of the business's revenue, and we have a Robinhood account, and we just started to pick up shares of different companies just to start growing our funds instead of letting it just sit in a bank account. So I think overall, it's just we're just gonna have to focus in on things that really matter, kind of put some other stuff to the side, and just not even think about it, and just really execute and make WC Media a real big company.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up some personal things you've been thinking about and some stuff that you perhaps haven't said on camera and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that for me, it's some similar path. I do agree with the personal development part. I think as young men, we're 21 years old, about to be 22 next year. There's so many things to figure out and so many parts where people may not understand. And at some point, it's up to us to figure it out. We can only call in so many people. We can only figure out or ask for help. We can only there's only a few months now. We're not even asking professors for anything. You know what I mean? So there's just different levels to everything. So I've realized that as a whole. And of course, money. We've had those conversations. It's so important nowadays. Just even to get access and resources, it's very difficult to do things without the proper financial backing. Perhaps you want to keep it rather more simple, and that's okay. Everyone has their own prerogative, right? So all depends on what we want and things like that. But I would say for me personally too, yeah, really just making sure that I leave college the best I can be as a man, and of course that revolves around many things, right? But I think if you extrapolate that, you can get what I'm trying to say is basically to be a good person in terms of you're not going to cause problems, but also making sure that you're taking care of things and your responsibilities. So for me, that's it. But progress, like you said, you always talk about just how it takes years to build up those things. So, and that brings up another question I have in my own mind. But yeah, so we talk about, essentially, we talk about a lot of things that we've done that helped us that can help other people. But how do we translate to people that they do like our stuff, they like to see it? Okay, we're doing all these things, but what are some leisure activities? What are some fun that we do? So what are your plans after winter break? I'm sure it's not going to be all, for example, Dub C Media 100% of the time. I'm sure you want to spend a day or two doing something else. So what are your plans for winter break overall? Like, what do you have going on?
So, Chris, I have a crazy trip planned for Florida, as you know, and
I can
I've
imagine,
and
yeah.
I've been telling you throughout it. So, I am leaving Westchester Wednesday. I'm going back home to Lehigh Valley,
Hmm.
getting all organized, getting some golf bags for my dad and my brother, and then I'm leaving and I'm picking up Sel on Saturday, and we're driving down to North Carolina, and then I'll be in Florida for 4 weeks.
Hmm.
So I've got 10 different people visiting me. I've got
It's a lot.
two cousins. I've got my parents, my brother, my sister. I've got Frankie, Luby, and Duke all visiting me, and I've got this crazy trip planned. I'm visiting some friends. I'm visiting my grandma. So it's just gonna be a lot of fun to just kind of get away from everything. I've been working so hard and just head down, just focus, grind, and it's gonna be good to just kind of really detach myself from Westchester, from back in Pennsylvania, just enjoy myself, play golf, go to the pool, go to the hot tub, work out, look at the market, still work on WC Media from my computer. So it's basically the perfect setup, and I just can't wait. And I'm gonna have so much fun, and I'm really just gonna try to enjoy every single moment because I know that will go by so fast as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really just gonna try to just enjoy the present, stay still, and just enjoy the time. So that's at least my plans for winter break. How about you?
Yeah, so and I can imagine how fun that's gonna be just having all those different people and stuff like that. So that's really good. Glad to hear that. My plans for winter break, just going back over the conversation we recently had. For me, I'm gonna be working here. I think I'm gonna be at Westchester for a good amount of the time. I'm gonna be working at McLaren, and then apart from that, personal development, continue to do and work and making sure that I'm not, coming back with a freshman 15, So got to make sure I'm taking care of that part, and then likewise with the dub submit, but also really trying to figure out some other ways to do different things because as we always talk about, we transitioning into the real world. It's going to be different. We're not going to have this environment here, this bubble of Westchester. So it's going to be interesting to navigate that and understand that things are going to be different and change is sometimes necessary. At least I've learned a bit about that in some sense. But for me, work, work on myself and business, and of course, spending that free time. I think nowadays I'm just gonna be at there's no classes, there's no tests. Oh, bet. Like I'll wake up and be okay because, like you said, sometimes you do need that break away from those extra priorities and those extra responsibilities to just clear your mind and then get back. But the Florida thing made me think of something. So, what would you say is one of the most important things, or what would you say is something that you look forward to based from having all those people come visit you? Like, what about that is fun for you?
I'm gonna be well. Last year, I was down in Florida for 3 weeks, and I didn't really have too many people visit me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just gonna be more fun to just have show some of my friends who've never really played golf down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Take them down, show them where my grandma lives, show them where my friends, and
Mm-hmm.
just hang out and just enjoy the time with each person because as we always say, time is so limited, especially with loved ones and family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to just try to just enjoy every single moment. I love golf.
Yeah.
You see
Oh, I
my
know.
Instagram stories, and
Yeah.
I play all the time. So
Mm.
it's just gonna be so much fun to just play some golf, just catch up with some old friends and just some cousins I haven't seen for a little bit, and just enjoy the sunny, beautiful weather
Yeah.
because I want to eventually move down to Florida, as I'm sure you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to just have fun. Don't take it too seriously. Play some good golf. Get
Mm-hmm.
some work done as well. Be productive and just really just enjoy life because soon enough we're gonna be post graduation. I already start working full time June 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
so there's not a time like this I can really do a 4 week trip like this. So just trying to really just enjoy every moment.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. And speaking of enjoying every moment, what are some things that you found really memorable? What are some memorable events? What are some memories you have from this past semester that you're like, I'm really gonna miss that or I enjoyed that moment there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think just the 75 hard grind, just
Mm-hmm.
that continue, like, it went around like day 35 or something, and we're
Mm-hmm.
like, we still got a lot of time left, but when you still got to edit this video, do all the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I just like to keep being busy.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go from one meeting, from the CEO club meeting on Monday at 6,
Mm-hmm.
then go right to chess club right after.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just kind of like just keeping myself busy. So I think it was just a great semester. I think soccer, having those last couple away trips up to Erie and up in Connecticut, those were great. It was a lot of fun, and I think just the time with friends for the most part, just and just living with you and Frankie because
Mm-hmm.
we're never going to be in this current situation ever again
Yeah.
for the most part. So there's a lot of memories. I am glad that I have a lot of them on film because I could literally just go and watch 75 days of my life
Mm-hmm.
and go through every single day and see what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful for that. And I think just I'm looking forward to this next chapter of my life where I'm just working, playing golf, business, networking, continue improving myself, and just trying to become the best version of myself. So I'm gonna try to read a bunch over winter break. I've got a couple books I'm bringing down to Florida, so I continue trying to do that. And yeah, just it's crazy. Just it's time how time just flies.
Yeah, it's interesting. It definitely moves fast the older we get, and I have a lot of those similarities in some of the memories, but I think one of the important things that you touched upon is what I want to honestly just make the main point of my shared memory is honestly the people. Because with my in my experience, I've seen a lot of people. Well, I've been acquaintances or friends with a lot of people. They've came and they've left. So realizing, like you said, those time is so precious with the people that you actually do value time with and want to spend time with. I think that's been the most important for me. My friends came up a few times as well too. That was valuable for me as well too. So just really understanding that with all the things college brings, with every single thing it brings, there's going to be times when you generally realize, hey, it doesn't matter. It's not that where I'm at, it's who I'm with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was a huge part of everything.
So yeah, Chris, we're no longer student athletes. We've got one more semester left, and then we're on to the real world. So, is there anything in the spring that you're looking forward to, or just have any goals at all?
Yeah, so the spring semester, I really want to prepare myself to be as confident as possible post graduation in different realms. I can't even explain all the details towards that. Apart from that, I do want to summarize, I want to be a part of the shooting range club. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically a club where it's university affiliated. You go to a range and you learn stuff. You learn how to use handgun and stuff like that. I want to kind of be more equipped and prepared with different things, not just apart from okay, I can lift these weights or I can change your oil, for example. I want to make sure I can do different things in the real world. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that I'm looking forward to. And to be honest, like you always say, just because when that spring semester comes, we're gonna generally realize, yeah, what X amount of weeks left. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a very interesting transition. But also for the fun part of it, our spring break trip to Jamaica, I think that's going to be really fun that we're going there. But for me, it's just when the things that have happened, I just realized more and more that it's just a time with people that matters. That's why even the past couple of days, there's times I'm just like, you know what? I just want to sit here with you guys and just spend a couple minutes, maybe not, but just a couple, just to enjoy those genuine moments and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say that's me. What about you?
Yeah, as you said, only 15 more weeks or
Mm-hmm.
so left of our college career. So I think it's just going to be taking it slow, day by day, just not thinking too far ahead and just enjoying every single day. So I've got some goals. I'll definitely have another 12-week year planned for the
Mm-hmm.
spring for sure. But I've only got to take 3 classes,
Mm-hmm.
only Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, back to back to back. So it's a very manageable
Mm-hmm.
workload. I no longer have soccer, so I have a lot more free time. I've got off Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I could golf on Monday. I could go out and pitch at places for WC Media on Wednesday and Friday. So I've got a lot more time to do things. And I think I just want to, as I hinted at earlier, just keep tightening my circle, be
Mm-hmm.
very careful of my time and energy, and just focus on the things that I really, truly want to focus on. So that's what I'm just looking forward to in the spring. But
Mm-hmm.
I've got a lot of time to just kind of detach myself, reflect, enjoy my time off,
Yeah.
and then hit the ground running and not running, sprinting at full speed
Mm-hmm.
for our last
Yeah.
semester of college.
Yeah. Well said. I mean, time is going by fast, and the things we do now will certainly matter and build us more and more. As far as the overall topic, I mean, we've talked about a lot of things. We've had some good conversations as a whole, on and off camera. If someone asks, hey, based on you guys being seniors, perhaps it's someone that's a freshman now or going to be a sophomore, right? They're asking, hey, what are some things that you've learned throughout your college years, or what's one word, one sentence, one advice you can give towards me? What would you say?
First thing I would say to a freshman is just step out of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
It's not comfortable to go up and talk to new people, make new friends, go to different clubs, and going to different sporting events. I think just step out of your comfort zone, try to talk to new people, and just put yourself out there because it's not going to hurt you. The only thing it's going to do is just help you. A lot of people I see are just so kept to themselves, and then they kind of miss out in a way on certain things. I would say just step out of your comfort zone, try to meet new friends, and just enjoy the process of it. When you're a freshman, you don't necessarily know what you're doing. You learn for the spring semester, and then you just keep learning every single year after that. And I think that's one thing we've done pretty well is just continuously to improve on on the previous days. Jordan Peterson always says, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And I still do that continuously to this day. I look at what I did today, compare myself to yesterday, move on, try to do better the next day. So that's just what I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely as a freshman, you don't know everything or what you're doing. So yeah, I would definitely say the time to that too. Just try to be as self accountable as possible. It's a new world we live in, and to be honest, a lot of times, a lot of people can point things that did lead you at fault. Someone can do things, but you know, if you're driving a car and then someone brake checks you, which is not a good thing. It's technically illegal, but perhaps you could have kept a longer distance, or so there's always my point is there's always room to improve, and it ties into exactly what you're saying, right? Just take care of yourself and put yourself around the right people. Because, like you mentioned, at some point you're gonna want to cut your circle. At some point you're gonna want to un- understand, but also teach yourself that it's you first, and then the people around you, obviously, family and friends and all that stuff included. But without without the peace of mind of just knowing things, then how can you ever evolve? So that's what I would say to them.
Yeah, as the billionaire Dan Pena says, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future."
Mhm.
And I think that still is just one of the best quotes I've ever heard in my life. A lot of people in college are lazy. They
Mhm.
do bare minimum work. They push things aside. They skip class. They
Mhm.
just do enough to get by. Yeah, surround yourself by people that actually want to do better and just want to just enjoy and just strive to be the best possible version of themselves.
Yeah, and circulars and mentor. So if they forgot what that means, then they're a G for that. But yeah, it's awesome, Tom. And before we even wrap this up, is there any other last thoughts, comments, concern? Because it's interesting, right? This is the last podcast that we will shoot at least in person together in 2023.
Yeah, we started off hot this semester. We had a couple guests on, and
Mm-hmm.
we were pretty consistent with that. And then life gets in the way. We had other things to focus on. This podcast, yeah, it's great to share knowledge and everything. Doesn't necessarily give us the best immediate result.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we tried to focus on more WC media and
Mm-hmm.
stuff along those lines. I think moving forward, I think we could still try to have some guests.
Mm-hmm.
I think eventually in a couple of years, I think that's where the podcast can really truly take off.
Mm-hmm.
But I think right now it's just trying to keep spreading our word, and I think we're gonna try to do kind of a personal development course that we've been thrown to the back burner for a while, but I think we can really work on that over winter break, and I think it's just enjoy every day and just try to get better. Life is not easy. If it's easy, everybody would be rich and just
Mm-hmm.
set. So it's almost like a game. You got to become the best version of yourself in every single category. So I'm just excited to keep working on myself, keep improving, and just also just enjoy this time off that was much earned over the 15-week semester.
Yeah, so we thank you guys for everything, all the support, and we know a lot of people that's reached out and that's mentioned the comments, whether that's a quick interaction or at a social event. We all appreciate it all. So we thank you guys for everything. Check out our socials: Thomas Hanvey, Dubsy Media, Krestoff. We're all here. Everything's in our description, in our bio. Yeah, we appreciate it all, and we're excited to be a part and push this more potentially next semester, but most important, like you said, a couple years from now. So
Yeah, if you guys have anything, reach out, comment. But this is the last time you'll be hearing from us until at least after winter break, and we'll definitely be doing an update video for the beginning of the spring semester and our last semester as college students. So take it easy and continue to make yourself a better version of yourself.